Hey lovely people, it's Liz. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, I can't even believe that I'm seeing this. I'm so excited. This is like a dream come true for me. We have the first ever episode of Mondays with Liz on YouTube. This is going to be a beautiful journey for me, and I want to take you guys along with me so that we learn, we grow, and we take our power back. So today I want to talk about something really emotional for me, something that I had to learn completely all over. So I used to be the kind of person that whenever I saw videos from people, psychologists or therapists talking about healing and trauma, I always thought I was an exception. I always used to skip those videos because I thought that trauma, especially the one that happened in childhood, is the physical one. But later on, I realized that some physical wounds actually heal, but there are some things that happen to us, especially when we're younger, that traumatize us emotionally, and those wounds, they cut deep to such an extent that the older you grow, some of those wounds never get to heal until you actually acknowledge and realize what you went through. So I'm gonna give an example of something that happened to me when I was in high school. Um, so I was around 14, 15 years, and then there was one classmate. I really loved that girl, and so she made a comment in front of the whole class about my skin tone. That was something that I'd never thought about or even noticed because I was so young. But in that moment, it hurt, and then I just thought I'd moved past it. But years later, I actually realized the impact that this thing had on me because I became more cautious of how I looked, and I wasn't confident sometimes to wear certain kind of clothes because I was afraid that, okay, what if what she said was true, and like what if I wear certain kind of clothes, like people would see me the way she was saying. And then later on I discovered that no, like I had to love myself the way I am. Like I may not be perfect in other people's eyes, but God made me in his image, and I'm perfect in the way that he made me. So I had to heal and start to look at myself because it happened when I was 14, 15, but I remember I kept thinking about it, and I kept being so conscious of how, like, maybe how my skin tone was not perfectly even like 5 or 6 years down the line. So later on I had to realize that no, this is something that I had to accept and heal from. And maybe she said it not fully meaning it, but it had an impact on me. And I'm also going to give an example of a friend of mine. She's so beautiful. I love her from my childhood. Um, so this girl, when she was young, she got bullied. People used to say, because she was chubby, people used to say that she looked like a certain animal. They used to call her a buffalo. So what she did is she embodied that because she was like, I don't want to feel the pain, so what I'll just do is just to accept. So even sometimes when we are making silly jokes, she'll just refer to herself as that animal, so that she was saying that the more she accepts what people were saying, the less pain she'll feel, which is not true because she's an absolutely beautiful human being, and that's not something that's good to be described to as an animal. So there was even a recent time when I saw her, she's working out, she looks good, and I complimented her that you're looking good, but she couldn't take that compliment because she was saying, no, it's not true. When I was young, people always used to refer to me like this. So it just made me realize that there's so many events that we may talk about right now, so many things that we've gone through that may have traumatized us emotionally, and as a result, the way that we behave right now as adults may be as a result of the things that happened to us, especially when we're young. I recently learned about something called trauma response, that some of the certain behaviors that we have as adults, some of the way that we respond to certain things is as a result of the things that happened to us when we're young. For example, maybe you grew up in an environment where in order to be loved, you had to do something, like maybe you had several siblings. So in order for people to see you, you had to have the highest grades on and do something good, something extraordinary. So as a result, when you grow up as an adult, you want to be people pleasing, you go all out because you feel like for people to love you, you have to do something. There's so many examples. There are people that they don't show their emotions, they bottle up their emotions because they grew up in an environment where they were told that crying or expressing your emotions is a sign of weakness. And there are so many examples we can talk about on trauma response, but this insight on knowing more about this emotional trauma really changed my life. So this taught me the importance of acknowledging the things that may have happened to us, especially when we're younger. Acknowledging that I went through this and it wasn't good for me, and that's the first and important step to healing, because when you don't acknowledge those things, you carry wounds in your heart. Like there are certain times that maybe you remember a certain person that did something to you when a long time ago, or like something that happened to you, and you have so much anger, you have so much hate when you remember that thing. So it's so important to acknowledge those wounds. So acknowledging the wounds is the first part of healing, and then after that you have to heal. You have to start your journey of healing. What I've learned is that healing is a continuous journey that happens throughout your life, because life is always going to give you some traumatic events. So you have to be able to heal from those events, and to be able to not carry a lot of burden in your heart, you have to have a clear conscience. That's the beginning of self-love, because how can you love yourself when you have so much burden in your heart? Like, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So for you to pour out love, for you to love yourself, you need to have love in your heart. That's why it's so important that you heal from whatever trauma that you went through, that you acknowledge whatever things that you went through that were abnormal. You forgive those people also. You forgive whoever traumatized you, or whatever situation that you went through, you have to forgive them. And someone told me that when it comes to forgiving people, sometimes you have to do it for yourself, because when you forgive that person, your heart lets go. So it's important for you to let go of all those things, so that you may be able to have a clear conscience and a clear heart. And from that, you can start to learn how to love yourself. You can start to know your self-worth. You can start to develop yourself, because you don't carry any burden in your heart. Okay, this is just an introduction, and I'm probably gonna have a part 2 talking about like what I've done to heal, because healing has helped me so much to become more confident, to know my self-worth, to love myself more, and to know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and God has really great plans for me. So I'm gonna make more videos, and I'll be posting every Monday. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and make sure you do subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting videos every Monday. Thank you so much, guys. Goodbye.